Aloha and welcome to the Genie Show. My name is Jeannie Joseph and I'm really glad you're out there. We have a wonderful show for you today. I have Brian and Bonnie Lowe and they are new chicken owners or chicken parents. I don't know what to call them. They've got 3 chickens in their house, or outside their house mostly I should say, and we're going to find out all about what it's like to become a new owner of chickens and raising them and all about what it's like to be a chicken family. So thank you for being with me here on the show.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Good to have you.
Great.
Now, I know you didn't set out to be a chicken family. You started out, you're saying you wanted to get a dog, but it was too much work.
Bonnie was the one that wanted a dog, and I thought that it would be too much work with a dog.
Right.
And so I suggested, just as a joke, well, let's get chickens instead. So that was how it all began.
Bonnie, tell us what it was like to have 3 little chickens in the house.
Oh, it was so cute. And so they were born right about New Year's Day, and we got them at 3 days old. We brought them home, had to get a little bunny cage, and kind of learned on the fly as far as what they needed, when, what they ate.
Were they friendly at first? Were you able to hold them? Or?
Oh, goodness, yes. As you can see in that photo right there, every night, many times throughout the day, we hold them, and they really do like to be held, and the more you hold them as babies, the more tame they're going to be as adults.
So when did you start getting these eggs?
Chickens normally at about age 5 to 6 months will start laying eggs.
What's it like to eat fresh, delicious, organic eggs? Do they taste different?
The best.
The best.
Yeah.
Yes, there's nothing like a fresh egg, and our girls only eat their grain. No medications in that grain, and of course,
about as organic as you can get.
They have fresh spinach, and they love spinach. They love grapes, so all kinds of fresh vegetables and fruits, and they get a lot of love, and I think that makes a difference. They're happy.
Yes.
And
Just delicious eggs. They're wonderful.
Wonderful. That's great.
In fact, so many though that we can't eat them all because each chicken lays 1 egg per day, and so
sometimes
that's,
2.
Yeah, some occasionally 2. That's 21 eggs a week, and for just Bonnie and I, that's 19 more than we can possibly eat. So we give them to neighbors and friends and coworkers.
And a few standing orders.
Right, I bet everybody loves you now. You have a lot of friends. You
Oh yeah, yeah.
As they grew and grew through their different stages, Brian kept building them different cages to support them. We just built another coop for them, so they've kind of transitioned into larger and larger areas, but they have a free range area where they go out and play. And so probably,
well, needless to say, these are very spoiled chickens.
Oh, yes,
I mean,
yes.
There's probably no chicken anywhere that has the life that these girls have had. But they're our pets, and, so.
Well, we have a picture here of you holding the chicken, so they let you hold them.
Yeah, that's in their teenage days. You can see they're still growing in their full feathers. They're Rhode Island red hens, and so it's a ruddy red, reddish brown color.
Now I know they like to eat things from the garden, but you had some surprises. What was one day? Tell us your story about.
You go ahead.
Centipede. All of a sudden I looked over, and Kelly, my favorite hen, had, oh goodness, it had to have been about 6 inches long, this centipede in her mouth. And I was, centipedes are quite frightening.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh! And I picked her up, and I'm trying to shake it out of her beak. And Brian came over, and he had some trimming shears, and so I was like, what do we do? I don't know. And so he cut it in half. And Kelly's looking at me like, Mom, what'd you do? And so I ran into the house and Googled it, can chickens eat centipedes? And it's like, yes, it's their favorite food, and that's why people have them in their yards in Hawaii. So, oh my goodness, so yes. And now our neighbors bring us centipedes.
Wow.
When they see them, they'll pick them up with tongs and put them in a little container and bring them over, and we'll let them out, and they just go crazy. So,
and locally, the folks locally will tell you that if you have chickens in your front yard, you will not have centipedes or scorpions.
Oh, and they love roaches,
anything.
The big ones that are outside. Oh.
They're omnivores, so they will eat just about anything, but their preferred insect is centipedes.
What kind of work is involved in, what's your daily routine with the chickens? I know you guys are like, super parents and everything, but like, what's realistically, like if someone were to think about maybe raising chickens, what should they prepare themselves for?
It's not as time consuming and as difficult as you might think. For the most part, you provide them grain and fresh water, and you can get these self-feeders for both water and grain. You have that for them all the time, but we probably go overboard with the feeding of them, and maybe that's why they're so spoiled.
That's why we've had such great eggs.
Yeah, that's true, but we normally give them a breakfast meal and then a dinner meal, but well before dusk, because at dusk they go to bed, and they're not going to eat, they're not going to do anything other than go to bed. I mean, they don't actually go to bed, they go to their roost.
Right.
But we give them corn and fruit, grapes.
Vegetables.
They
So
love
all kinds
grapes.
of fresh stuff in addition to their grain. Most farmers and will tell you, well, you just throw some grain out there in the evening or the morning and they're fine. Well, you know, we of course do more than that because they're pets and we like to spend time with them.
Right.
And so we see them every day at least once, and especially on weekends all the time.
What's it like to hold a chicken? It's very warm, right?
Oh yes, their body temperature is 104. So that's another thing that you have to keep in mind when you're raising chickens, is that you think we live in Hawaii, it's tropical, it's warm all the time. Well, that's true. However, the winds, when the winds kick up, and especially when there's rain as well, it can get quite cold in the 60s maybe, and you have to make sure that they're sheltered from that draft.
Would you recommend this to other people, maybe starting out, who don't know anything about raising chickens? Is this for beginners, or is this, what do you think?
I think just about anybody can raise chickens as long as you understand what you're getting into at the time. It's not like, you know, just buying a little baby chick for your child at Easter and, you know, it's real cute for a few days and then the child loses interest. So if you're going to get into chicken raising and having the eggs and so forth, you have to understand that it's a commitment, just like with a dog or a cat or any kind of a pet. There are certain things that you have to do. There is some work involved. There is some expense, but not a tremendous amount. And you know, it's a sustainable food source. That's an important thing.
Right.
Now, obviously, with our chickens, they're pets.
Right.
We will never ever send them to market. I
Right.
mean, they will be with us until the day that God decides they're no longer going to be with us. But
Right.
for some people, they raise chickens and you know, benefit from the eggs, and then decide later on, okay, well, now we'll do something else with them. But yeah, I think anybody could really have a lot of fun. I mean, it's interesting.
Watching
pet.
them grow and mature and all their different stages. And
They
I
each
think
have their own personality.
It's wonderful for children as
Yes.
well to understand where our food comes from. You know, you asked me earlier how it feels to hold them. Well, when you're holding them and you're petting them and you can feel them relax and they start to close their eyes and kind of sink into you, and they're so warm, and you know that they like to be pet, they like to be
Yes.
held, and
Yes.
you know, they're a sentient being and they enjoy that touch.
That human
and
touch.
Yes.
Bonnie can sit there and the chickens will, at least two of the three, one will jump into her lap, she starts petting it, and the chicken absolutely falls asleep. You can just watch him relaxing, watching her relax, and then the eyes close and head comes down, and they're sound asleep.
And if you've ever watched chickens out on a farm, I mean, they're always moving, always watching, always, you know, ready to react. And so when you get a chicken to relax and feel that safety from you and
Yes.
security, that's a nice feeling.
That is a nice feeling.
Yeah.
That is a nice feeling.
Since the time that we got them at 3 days old, they establish a very strict, rigid pecking order. And each one of them knows who's the alpha chicken and who's the bravo and so forth. And so that's just the way that chickens live, and it doesn't matter whether you got 3 chickens or 300 chickens. If they're in together, they establish that order. And you don't go up against the other one unless you're ready to fight that one.
Wow.
And hopefully that doesn't
Hens,
happen too often.
normally don't. But if you have a rooster, the rooster takes care of that
Right.
order, which of course we have no roosters. So
Yes.
I don't think our neighbors would like that too much.
And that's fascinating how they all know that pecking order. Isn't
They
it
do.
interesting how it's like they just kind of know it? Or, I mean,
They
it's
do.
not like some big incident, right? They don't fight it
No.
out or...
No,
Yeah.
normally they don't, but if you have an existing flock of chickens, whether it's just a couple or a whole bunch, and you bring another chicken in, they will go through that establishment of the pecking order with this new chicken. Now, if the chicken's smart, that chicken will just allow himself or herself to integrate into the flock and not, you know, try to be the alpha chicken. Otherwise, she'll have to peck her way into, you know, that position of prominence.
Wow. That's very interesting. Chicken politics.
Yes.
It's not so dissimilar to human
Yes.
social interactions.
It's
you know?
very interesting. I mean,
Yes.
has that like given you more insight into working with people? I know you, you both have a military.
There are some
life.
similarities, yes, now that I think about it.
You're in a meeting. I think, what would Kelly do? Here?
yeah.
How would Kelly handle this
How would
situation?
Kelly respond?
Well, in respect to personality styles, sure, you're going to have your more directive types who are going to want to take charge, and then your followers, and you know, you need all different personality types to make an organization or a neighborhood or a community or anything run. So it's important to have all those different personality types.
Yes, it's just in the real world, it's not quite as neat as the chickens in terms of deciding who's the alpha, right?
Right.
It gets a little messier in the human
That's
world.
for sure.
So
It
humans
can.
need to learn from chickens. This should be a
Exactly.
smooth process.
You got
Yeah.
30 seconds,
agree.
figure it out.
To figure it out, no war.
Yeah, because when they do that establishing of the pecking order, it doesn't take very long.
No.
Right.
And so back when they were just the little yellow fluff balls, that all of that was already figured out. We didn't necessarily know until we could tell them apart a little bit better.
If one chicken was going over to point A, the other two immediately would go over. Now, I don't know if that was always Kelly that
I
was
think it was
going
Kelly.
off someplace, and the other two knew, oh, okay, that's the leader. We're going to go see what's going on there. Whatever that leader, that alpha chicken was doing, the other two would be right there.
So what have you learned from having this experience? What, you know, in what way has it enriched your lives or enriched your view of life?
And for me, it's just so amazing. I had no idea that chickens could have those, I mean, call them feelings, whatever you want to call them. But, I mean, I've always loved and appreciated all of God's creatures, but I never knew that chickens could sit in your lap and hang out and like to be pet. So it's just a greater understanding of animals in general. I mean, we have cats and had dogs in the past. Well, we haven't yet, but Brian actually said we could get a dog now. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it just gives you an understanding that, yes, maybe the animal doesn't feel an emotion, so to speak. They still have feelings. They still feel good, bad, danger, fear, and love and safety. I mean, you know,
Also, when
just
you
makes
think
you think
about
a
it,
little more.
So maybe
Chick-
those are emotions.
Oh, sure they are. They
And
are.
chickens really are the only animal that I can think of that every single day that they're capable of giving to humans, they do through
Yes.
their eggs. So, I mean,
Or
if
they're,
there's,
you know, if they're going to market too, to be
there's no
consumed.
better
It's-
proof of a higher power of God that providing, you know, an animal that can sustain humans. If all you had to eat every day was a chicken, an egg, a chicken egg, you would live for a
survive.
long, long time because
Yes.
it's got, in that one little egg, it's got virtually everything that you need to sustain human life.
Yes.
So
If you eat the shell as well, because then you have the calcium.
I don't know of too many other animals that do that.
Yes. That's a very important insight. Well, hopefully people will be inspired by watching this show and realize the beautiful gift that chickens are in our world, and maybe treat them a little better in all the ways that you find them, and maybe consider having chickens yourself. It's so wonderful that you've had this experience, and I think it will inspire other people to maybe consider getting started having chickens in their lives. I hope so. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming out
you,
with us.
Jeannie.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
taking
Really
your
appreciate
time. Yep. And if you have more questions, you know how to get in touch with us. My name is Genie Joseph. You've been watching The Genie Show, and we'll see you again very soon, I hope. Aloha for now.